want to do, what is it that you need to balance in your inner feminine and your inner masculine? We're going to do maybe 3 cards for each, and then on top of that we're going to do a little bit of tarot for your shadow work. So you know where you stand. Watch the previous part. You know where you are in this connection. You know, I think I wasn't really subtle in saying, in expressing to you what this connection really is. So what is it really trying to teach you? What is it really trying to illuminate? Again, let's start from your feminine energy. Let's start from your feminine energy. Connect to the moon. The moon is the unseen. The moon is the shadow. The moon is the subconscious mind. We're going to read through this. All right. So for your feminine energy, for your inner feminine energy, we have connect to the moon, number 27. The moon represents the night, feminine energy, transformation, spirit realm, subconscious mind, hidden truths of life. If you pull this card, you are guided to connect to this energy. Tap into the uncontrolled, unknown, subconscious. There's beauty. So you guys, I feel like you, this collective, whether you want to accept it or not, you would be very much in your masculine energy. You're disconnected from the feminine is our inner world, right? Our feminine, our inner feminine, internally, we're not talking about, right? Internally. So our feminine energy is our inner world, is our emotions, is our water, right? Is our subconscious mind. It's the unseen within us. It's our shadows that we're trying to suppress, right? It's the energy of the night. It's what we're denying. It's what we're hiding. It's the energy that these days, in this distorted patriarchal times, it's really killed off in most of us, right? Not just women specifically and particularly powerful in women, but in men as well. This energy is killed off, right? We love to be in our masculine, in our logic, in our denial, in not tapping into our heart, not tapping into our interior, focusing on the exterior gain, exterior validation, exterior people. The feminine asks you to really dissolve the external world and only look within. Me. And I always say this to you guys, to truly tap into your feminine energy and in your healing, you must imagine that every single person in your life is not a person, but it's a mirror. Okay? Imagine that it's just you for a moment in this world, because truly what you have is how you experience life. It doesn't mean that life is not real externally, but what really exists, it's the internal world, not because the external doesn't exist, but because you are experiencing the external through your interior, right? So to really tap into that feminine, I really want you to spend a couple of days imagining that every single little person, okay, your family, your children, if you have children, your friends, that person you're connecting to, they're mirrors. What are they trying to show me? What are they trying to show me? They're mirrors, right? Connect to that moon, connect to the feminine. We have focus. I feel number 27, number 35, we have number 14. I feel like 14, I just heard 14th of April. I just heard, for whatever reason, maybe that's significant for some of you. Focus. I feel like you're not really focused. There's something in your energy. It's this distraction, and you're not accepting it. But this is why you cannot connect to your feminine, because you're constantly running around. You're constantly looking for triggers, or for impulses, or for excitement. It's like you will be one of those people that if someone told you go for 1 month to be on your own in the forest, you would go completely insane. I would get excited, right? So a healed person gets excited for experiences like that, right? So people who are wounded, they cannot stand still for more than a couple of hours or more than a day. They constantly want to go somewhere, do something, flirt with someone, right? If you act like this, you will never focus. You will never truly heal. You will never focus on the lessons that they're showing you in front of you. the lessons in front of you. And we have womb healing. Womb healing is a powerful energy. It is an energy of the femininity. Womb is a representation of our femininity, of our sacral. I'm hearing sacral healing with that as well. Maybe you are being guided to really embark on a journey of healing your sacral. I have a very powerful program to heal your sacral for people who are ready to deeply heal, to one day be aligned with a soulmate, to really release constantly attracting karmic connections, right? If you want to know more about it, you can either go to my website or you can go to my Instagram, and it's a pinned video on my Instagram that talks about, it's a 6-month program. And I feel like you would, whether you want to, embark on this journey with me or with another healer, of someone else, it doesn't really matter, but this collective, I feel you really need to look into your womb and your sacral. This is where women store trauma, you guys. We store trauma in our sacral. Men store their trauma in their hearts, their most vulnerable place. I've done a lot of content about this recently because I feel like it's something that it's really not properly understood when we talk about divine union and healthy yin and yang flow within the relationship. But this is the circuit between men and women. We store our trauma in our womb. This is why when women are wounded, the biggest distortion happens on the level of the womb. Some women go into completely closing and locking and not wanting, not being sensual, locking their sexuality, locking their sensuality, and like literally locking their womb. And some women go towards the other part. They constantly want to trigger that area through that sensuality, through that sexuality. Maybe they engage with multiple men. So there's always like the 2 ways we go towards that. But we store our trauma in our womb. We stored our trauma in our womb. Every time we connect to someone through intimacy, we take on their energy. And that energy through energetic cord, we're constantly connected with the person. Watch that, even if you don't want to embark on this program, watch that video that I did about that sacral space. It will help you a lot. But I feel like with that womb healing, there's a huge blockage I feel for this collective when it comes to your feminine energy, when it comes to you connecting to your femininity. Let's see for your masculine energy, for your masculine within. Doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. All right, so your first card is number 34. It's admitted. It's admitted. You guys, this collective, you would be in denial. I want to read this card to you. First step to truly heal, it's acknowledgement of our shadows, traumas, and fears. You can only deny so long. You are not an alone wolf. You fear true commitment. You are not too busy. You fear starting something new. You are not better off alone. You are afraid to love and to be loved. You don't have strong boundaries. You fall back into avoidance. Once you acknowledge, next step is accountability. Look at your past self with compassion and admit that you made mistakes. Give yourself grace, knowing that the past you did the best you could. She was unconsciously led by defensive patterns of your ego. Remember, once a pattern is acknowledged, it becomes a choice. I feel like this collective, you are very much in denial. You would feel that the life that you are living is because you're choosing this life. You're not realizing that you are led by your shadows and you are led by your internal demons and that you don't have control. You are in your wounded masculine. I feel like this collective, you're obsessing with control. You really want to have control over your life. So when you don't have that control, you're convincing yourself and others that it's actually all your choices. So probably with this person connected to you would probably want like run to like your happy ever after with this person, right off towards the sunset. But when someone asks you, you're probably saying that no, it's just gonna happen. I want it that way. I want it very like, nonchalant, because you can only deny so long. And I feel you are not too busy. You feel, I was really looking at this statement. I feel like this is about healing. Something within you is telling you that you should heal, that you should spend some time doing shadow work, spend some time truly on your own. You would probably be convincing yourself that you don't have the time, but it's not true. When you filled your life with distractions, you need to focus. When you fill your life with distractions, of course you're not going to have time, but it's your own doing. You truly, I'm hearing, I don't know why I'm hearing, for it may be a detail for some of you, that you're a mom, or you're like a single mom, or you're like you're separated from the father of your children, so you're using that as an excuse that you don't have the time, but it's not true. Denial is one of your issues right now, this collective. Unfortunately, you have to accept certain things. You have to accept, and we have inner child healing. Inner child healing. I always say this, it's one of the first steps for true shadow work. It's card number 2. Inner child. You have to attend to the needs. I feel like this collective, whatever wounds you may have suffered through your childhood, I'm hearing dissociation with this collective of some level. You probably convince yourself that you have an amazing life, that everything is fine, everything is okay with you, with your parents, with your childhood. They're just a couple of, things, because life is life, and certain people like disrupted your life and your peace, but you're probably convincing yourself that you're very focused, that you're very connected, that you're very... Denial. I'm sorry, denial. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. You deserve more in life, but it's like we have a potential hidden within our soul, but we cover it and wrap it in our shadows, and then we're upset that something within us tells us that we deserve more, but all that we attract is trash, right? But ask yourself, the fact that you have it deep within you, but you don't have it on display, you're not ruled. Your soul deserves everything, and your soul has a great potential, but your soul doesn't hold the reins right now. Your soul is in control by your shadows, by distractions, by denial, but not wanting to stop and focus and do some actual healing. Raise the bar for yourself, for life. What did I want to do? I wanted to do tarot on top of that, to really tap deeper into your energy. The Magician. You have the power within you. You have the power. You feel it, and it's true that you're a beautiful soul, you're a powerful soul, you have the capacity within you, but you just have to put in the work. Call back your power. I feel like this collective, whether you know it or not, you're so codependent. You would be one of these collectives and one of these people that you tell yourself that you're very independent, but in reality, you are so codependent from external world, from external validation of other people, from things that are happening externally, how things are going on. Your inner feelings, your state of mind and your state of spirit doesn't depend on your inner world. It depends on your external world. Codependency, you guys, it's not just codependency on a person. People think that people who are when you hear codependency, right, most people, they automatically go towards these people, usually women, who are in relationships with men who are in total control. They tell them what to do, where to go, what to wear. This is codependency. There are many forms of codependency. If you are not able to live happily for years of your life without flirting, without dating, without going out, you are codependent on the rush of new love. You are codependent of constantly having someone who sends you this good morning message, how are you, baby, who constantly, gives you that validation. If you are not able to really let go and don't have any plans for, the next couple of weeks or months, and just focus on you internally, on healing, but you constantly wanting to, travel and go away for weekends, go on dates, go on parties, go for shopping, go for lunches, it's because you're codependent. You're codependent on, you're not existing. It's this moon energy that I've explained to you. You're not existing as this is just me, no matter what happens around me. You have it in you for this to be your, oof, you guys, we have awakening and we have the Hermit. I feel this is really a call through me, through the channel of my body. Your spirit guides are really knocking on your door. Really, wake up. Wake up. You're repeating patterns, this collective. You're repeating patterns. This is a tough love kind of message, but you know that every other reading that I do, if not most, is tough love kind of love, because this channel is for people who want to grow. You're repeating patterns and you're not seeing it, because patterns are called patterns for a specific reason. Like, you guys, people think it's this what you want. You constantly want someone to chase you. You constantly want someone to give you attention, validation, messages, because this is how you get your self-worth. It doesn't come from within. You would be one of these people that you would probably say, I've been single many times in my life. But have you really? Because it seems like you always have someone out there to text, to exchange messages, to talk. So even if you're not officially in a relationship, you're lying to yourself. You're denying. Maybe you spend years of your life without a committed relationship, but because all you had around you was that flaky, non-committal Casanova energy, or you were telling to yourself, that's what I'm hearing, you were telling to yourself that it's you that you don't want a commitment, but it's this denial. Admit it. It's these men. Or you want commitment with men who don't want it with you, and men who want it with you, you don't want it. But it's like this, oh my God, it would really hit if it's the right collective. You would know that I'm right. You are being asked to awaken, this collective. You're being asked to awaken. You have the awakening and you have the Hermit. It is time for you to really focus on you. I'm hearing you guys to be quite honest. You know how I always say and explain to you physical karma and spiritual karma. What are these both concepts? And that every person has that moment in their life, that window of opportunity to move from one to another, and not everyone jumps on that window. If you want to know more, go to my YouTube. There's a healing and spirituality playlist, and you're going to find a video about spiritual karma and physical karma. You'll find it there, and you can watch what it really means, right? And I think if you go to my website, in my offerings, there's a spiritual karma, physical karma reading that I offer, and in there's a link to this video. So it explains in depth what it really is, because I don't want to go there right now. But I'm hearing that this collective, you are now in this moment of life, this window has opened to you quite a while ago. And your spirit's guides were pushing you to focus on you, to see the lessons. And what I wanted to say is that oftentimes we fail to see patterns because we don't really understand. Again, it's called a pattern because it's a pattern. So you would probably see at your past relationships and say that you're not repeating anything because all of these men that were completely different and your relationships were completely different. Yeah, but the pattern is there. That's a trickster energy and a pattern. That's why it's called a pattern. It's not called the name of your ex. We're not saying that you literally found yourself another one like that and went into that relationship. Usually they're very different, and they're different for us to see the pattern. Do you understand? Right? It is time for you to really remove the distraction, the relationships, the chasing, the being chased, the validation, the flaky connections. Focus on you. Focus on your awakening. Focus on your realizations in life. It's time to embark on that journey. Really heal. To have that Hermit on top of that womb healing. You guys, there's a reason I said that this collective, you would really benefit from that sacred program that I created, because it's a 6 months deep womb healing, deep sacral healing, with dissolving the cords, with closing past karmic contracts. Very powerful. I feel like you're being called to do something like that, something of sort, like embark on this journey of healing where you're going to dedicate yourself to really just you, to really seeing the patterns, admitting the patterns, removing the denial. Ace of Voices, and that's on top of admit it. Maybe you are slowly seeing that. To be honest, I feel like this collective, if you're really not ready, if you're really not in denial, it's in such a deep denial, you probably wouldn't find this video, because after like what, 5th minute, you would probably swipe. So if you're here, it's because you have it in you. You are the magician. You have the potential to really claim your highest, most abundant timeline, to really learn the lessons, to really change. There is a breakthrough happening on the level of your mind. You are starting to see certain things. You are starting to admit, you guys, it's like you have 3 major arcanas. Let's see what comes through. And an ace. Death and rebirth, transformation. I just heard maybe you're seeing a lot of moths recently, or maybe you had that moment like you were at night, you woke up in the middle of the night, or like you were going to your bedroom and you saw like a moth in your house. That would be a sign for some of you, but that's on top of that awakening and that inner child healing. It's time. It's really, they're showing me that this window is closing, you guys, that this window is closing. Watch that video about spiritual physical karma to understand. But they're showing me that for this collective, this window is slowly closing because they've been pushing you for a very long time. So if you don't jump through that window, you will never in this lifetime reach your full potential. You will never in this lifetime reach your highest, most aligned timeline. You will end up settling with, just a partner that you're going to maybe be changing every 5 years, every 10 years, constantly from one thing to another, constantly. You won't reach your full potential. The window is closing. They've been pushing you for quite a while. And again, it's free will. It's your avatar. It's your life. You can do this. If you're not going to manage this in your next life, you're going to have to learn the same lessons in the next one. This is why most of us does this so many times and embarks on so many of these rodeos, 300, 400 lifetimes, to finally learn, right? But it's a time for your transformation. Starting deep healing from inner child wounds, from true shadow work, mother wound, father wound. I feel like you need to start. This collective, you would have a lot of karmic partners attached to you. You would have a lot of cords around your sacral. You would have a lot of gunk accumulated around your. I feel like also your sacral space is quite distorted. It's out of balance. It's wounded. It's like very foggy, sort of a unclear, dusty, almost like a grayish kind of a color, because you've accumulated a lot of trauma from your childhood that you haven't cleared, trauma from your past partners. I say this to you guys all the time. In intimacy, we exchange trauma with our partner. We exchange trauma. So we hold on to their trauma, especially when we're women, because we're so vulnerable in our sacral, right? So if you haven't properly cleansed that from your past partners, if you haven't properly closed karmic contract, I feel like this collective, you need to embark on a journey to spend next months of your life closing karmic contracts. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. You guys, all your 6 cards and the Fool at the bottom of the deck. Fool, but there's also 7 of Voices. Like, you're still in denial. You're still lying to yourself. All your 6 cards, 5 of 6 cards are major arcanas. And 1 is Ace of Voices, that breakthrough. The window is closing. It's like literally like this, they're showing me. Like sometimes like in movies, like when they're escaping from somewhere, it's like it's almost closed, and like at the last moment they like manage it. Like it's almost, the door is like almost wounding you and hitting you on the sides. The time is now. The time is now. Again, it's your choice. It's your choice, but this collective, That's what I'm hearing strongly. You have to embark on a journey of deep healing. 4-6 months of really deep healing of your sacral, dissolving the cords, closing karmic contracts, closing the lessons, realizing the lessons. Because if you're not going to manage to do this, you guys, universe gives us what we want. I always say this, we have free will. People think, this is this misconception. This is this is what I always call victim of fate and master of destiny. People think that if something is destined to you, it's going to happen, right? So they feel that if I have a soulmate in this lifetime, it's going to happen. We're going to be together. No, I hate to break this to you, but no. If you are meant to be with a soulmate, you have that soulmate on your lifetime, and that soulmate is on your highest, most abundant timeline, they're going to be there for you. And periodically, your spirit team is going to be guiding you towards certain lessons, certain things that you need to see. But if you're not going to fully surrender to this journey, if you're going to continue in denial, if you're going to continue refusing to see the lessons, to learn the lessons, to do the work, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. We can screw it up because we have free will. What kind of a school of life would this be if we couldn't screw it up? Right? So if universe is constantly, universe has opened that window for you and started sending you lessons, synchronicities, probably people to whether online or in actual life that would say something that would try to make you realize that guides speak through other people. Sometimes they speak through people who are very conscious of that, like myself, so actual channels for divine knowledge. But sometimes they put words in mouths of like strangers that they're standing in front of us in line, or some friends that suddenly say us something that really hits, but where did it come from, right? They send us signs, they send us opportunities, they show us certain books, they show us certain movies that they really been trying to make you see. But if we are being very stubborn, if we're being very much in denial, if we're constantly going back to these patterns, to these distractions, to this toxicity, universe finally is like, okay, if that is what you want, what can I do? It is your life. It is the gift of life that you received. It is your time here on this earth. We're going to close this window now, and because universe doesn't want to force you to anything. Forcing things is, you guys, it's really painful. If you really, this is why this window opens and then it closes, because if you really, opening of that window is intense. This is a moment when usually we're receiving a lot of lessons, a lot of sometimes that harsh love from others, right? The messages of truth, triggers. It's a distressful moment in life. But if we're constantly resisting, constantly the universe is going to say, and our guides, they're going to close this window, because if you want to settle in life, if you want to spend the rest of your life not reaching your highest potential, but just to settle in this okay, mediocre life, it is your choice. You have the right to do this. It's your gift of life. So they're going to close this window, and you're going to stop receiving those intense lessons, those maybe visions and dreams and, triggers. They're going to allow you to settle. They're going to allow you to settle. If you want to keep repeating these patterns, we thought that you have a potential to really remove them and reach your highest timeline. But if you want to continue them, and it doesn't mean that the rest of your life will be useless. You will learn something. You will learn something. It's just this difference, right? Do you want to be in a summer school, or do you want to reach for a PhD? That's the difference. Do you want to become a master of life and reach your highest potential when there's your fulfillment, joy, love, your soulmate? Or you just want to live an okay life? If you would, that's your choice. That is really your choice. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope it really, when the time is right, it will find those that it needs to find. If you are ready to embark on this journey, if you feel guided to sign up for a session with me, link is in my bio to go to my website. And on my website, you can book a session through my website, or you can also sign up for that 6 months sacral cleanse program that would be perfect for this collective if this is really your collective. So please consider it, or doing a similar experience elsewhere, whatever you gravitate towards. I love you so incredibly much, and I will see you soon.